Welcome back to Independent Blazers. I'm Dan.
I'm Joe.
And today we're going to talk about, Joe, what are we going to talk about?
Well, today we're going to talk about more politics, more polling, and I'm going to show today an update on what the latest electoral college map looks like. But first, Dan, what do we got to do?
Please, subscribe, bang the notification bell as it helps the algorithm. And also follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, and share with your friends.
Absolutely. Please do that. It helps us. It helps you. And we're going to get right into it. And today we're going to we're going to show you an updated, and can everyone see that? Can you see it? That is the Electoral College map according to Real Clear Politics as of October 23rd, over with the aggregate polls and with the aggregate average of the swing states. This is what Real Clear Politics says. Okay. Now, as you see, what they're saying is that they believe that Donald Trump's going to win 312 electoral college votes to Harris's 226. Now, there are other maps out there, folks, that are slightly different. And like I said, the reason I use Real Clear Politics a lot is because there's people on both sides of the aisle that run this big site. It's a very well-respected site. So, this is why I use it. And I'm going to show you some other betting markets here in a few minutes. As you see, go ahead, Dan. Do you have anything to add?
Well, some of those swing states looks like they've chosen which way to swing, and other cases, well, the West Coast and the Northeast, they're always going to be Democrat. Places like Idaho, Utah, they're always going to be Republican. Well, I shouldn't say always, but always have been as long as I've known about them. Southern states can go either way. I think Texas is typically a red state. But, sorry, go on, Joe.
No, but again, this, like I said, there's other maps. Some have it 276, 286. But this one here, like I said, when they filter in all the polls. And look, I personally believe there's going to be some shockers election night. I don't know where they're going to come from, whether from... there's always some shocker where someone's supposed to win a state and then doesn't. So now, this is not a perfect projection. So as you see, the Real Clear map. And also, you see some of the averages, like Pennsylvania has Trump up almost a point according to the averages. North Carolina, you see Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin. Let's see Michigan. There's Michigan, and Nevada is the shocker. And there's a guy, Rothstein. He's a well-respected reporter out in Nevada. He says he sees warning signs against Vice President Harris. Now, again, am I saying Trump's going to win all these? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying right now, he has momentum, particularly in the swing states. And so as we see, we'll go back to the map. There is the latest map. Now, I tend to think right there. I tend to think right there she's going to win Nevada. I said, because Republicans have tried in the past, and last election, everyone thought the Republicans were going to take it. So my map would be slightly different, and I'm going to say, boom, here.
Well, hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. But with Nevada, I know the other day we were talking about it, and you said that Reno's more of a Democrat place, but although it's the second largest city in Nevada, I think at least half of it's Republican. Well, when I was there for a short time, just for a day, I saw a lot of pro-Trump and all that propaganda.
True, but last election it went to Biden. So now it could change. So here's my map here. This is how I have it. That's me. That's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen. I have Nevada going to the vice president, and I think she's going to take Wisconsin, because Wisconsin's been fool's gold for Republicans. Even because everyone's like, oh, Republicans are going to take it this time. Yeah, Trump managed to slightly pull it off. He did, well, not slightly. He did pull it off, but that's what I think the map's going to be. That's my personal map right there. I think she hangs on to Nevada. I do think she'll get Wisconsin, and so there's my map right there, because you can make your own interactive map on this site too. I do think, obviously, Hawaii, that's all. It's been Alaska's been very conservative.
Well, even places like Anchorage. See, I know a lot of Californians and West Coasters move up to Alaska. I mean, those with rather Democrat leanings. I thought the bigger cities in Alaska were more Democrat. I didn't say liberal, I just said Democrat.
Now Texas. Yeah, it's still Republican, but like I said, a lot of liberals have moved in there the past 10 years. And some will say it's an anti-Trump effect. Trump's projected to win the state, but depending on what you believe, 5 to 10 points. Florida, the latest poll, he's up by 10 right here. He's up by 10. Now, Georgia, there's a very real accurate poll in Georgia that was the most accurate in 2020. And I'm going to click on, let me see if I can click on it. All right, here we go. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which was very accurate in 2020, has Donald Trump up by 4 in Georgia. Now, if that's true, she's going to have a hard time winning that state. Atlas Intel has Trump up by 2 points. So, now, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Atlanta... I don't know a lot about that newspaper. I know from what the University of Georgia says and others say, that is a very accurate poll. As you can see here also, for example, you see the trend lines. All right, this is going all the way back to April 24th. So you see, that's when Biden was still in the race, Trump was gaining. Now when Harris got in the race in August, she got a massive bump. She got a honeymoon.
Right, because they were tired of Biden, and they said they were basically for any change. But so far, it seems like Harris has not really made a good impression on even the anti-Biden Democrats. I think she's making a pretty bad impression. It seems.
Now, when it comes to the betting markets, I'm sorry about that. Are you still looking? Sorry, Dan.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, I want to show people some other sources here besides Real Clear Politics. Now, this is thehill.com. All right, The Hill, it has both liberal, it's a bipartisan political news site, basically. Now, The Hill, there it is. I'm going to put that
bipartisan. Up. Now, forgive me, before we put up, I'm skeptical of any source that claims to be bipartisan. I mean, I think there's still bias in some way or another.
Everyone has biases, but I guess when I say that, I mean it's a political site. It has a lot of credibility inside D.C. There's libertarians, Republicans, and Democrats that write for it. So it's not here. And here's what I'm going to hit on right here. And let me see if I can get it. And this is the latest. This is this is October 20th here. Trump takes lead for the first time since Harris' nomination. Republicans favored to control Congress. Now, I'm going to be honest with you in that. Favored to control Congress. All right, I'm sorry. The article is not up there. Let me put that up. All right, let me put the article up here, what I'm trying to show you here. The article, where is it? Sorry. Folks, this is what happens when you do live time. The screen, back to the screen. The Hill, this is it. There we go. All right, here we go. There we go, right there. I don't know if everyone can see it. I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Now, they constantly... Now, usually if a presidential candidate does good, it usually helps the down tickets, down the ballot. Now, for folks that are outside of America, you hear about the presidential election, but there's tons of elections going on. There's going to be battle for control of Congress. There's battle for control of the Senate. So on election night, obviously the rest of the world is going to be focused on Trump or Harris. But in America, we got state elections. We got congressional seats up for grabs, senatorial seats up for grabs. So for this one here, it says Donald Trump is now a slight favorite to win the 2024 presidential race, though the outcome remains a toss-up, and I agree with that statement. Obviously, Trump, just like I showed you, and the reason I'm showing people this, I just want to show we're not trying to be biased here. We go with credible sources. The former Republican president has gained a lead in polling averages in Wisconsin and Michigan, adding to his existing advantages in Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. Now, look at the next sentence. Polling the 7 key battleground states, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, remain within the margin of error. Now, what does that term margin of error mean? If a poll is usually within 3 points or less, there's an error. It means the poll could be off either way, a couple points.
Yeah.
This is why I'm trying to support my earlier statement, what I said earlier. There could be some surprises. Like I gave you what I thought my electoral map would look like, 296. I gave Harris 2 other states. Could I be wrong? That's what they mean by this thing being a toss-up. So if you see a race within 3 points, there could be a slight polling error.
Well, hey, Joe, but here's a question. How big of a factor is hidden? It would be hidden Trump voters. I mean,
well,
how big of a...
If we go off the past 2 elections, it's big because, again, in 2016, at this point in the race, Hillary led by 6 points. If you're leading outside of 4 points, they think the race is in the bag. And she was winning a lot of the swing states. So, and Trump shocked it. Everyone, and then Biden, even though Biden did win the election, some polls had him up by 8 to 10. He only won by 4. So if you factor, if that hidden Trump vote is still a factor, Trump's in good shape.
Yeah, now, it looks like it. By the way, I know it's a little off topic, but what do you think of that stunt he pulled the other day at the McDonald's?
I thought it was a brilliant political move. It's brilliant. And okay, for all you folks that like Harris out there, she should do something similar. Now, whether you like Donald Trump or not, his strength is marketing and branding. And she claimed basically where this came from for the international audience. She claimed to work at McDonald's. McDonald's says there's no record of her working there. Whether she did or not, I don't know. But I do know his campaign took advantage of it. He went to the McDonald's, was making fries. I'm sure. And look, is there an optic? Of course. Did they probably pre-screen the customers? Sure.
But they close it off. Yeah, they close it off, and those customers were not random. But
of course, it's like a few weeks ago when Harris and her running mate Tim Walz were gonna go buy some Doritos. They closed the store, the convenience store off, or they sectioned it off where they were able to walk in and pick something up. Those are called in American politics optics. It's an optic.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
That's why I said earlier, folks, there could be some surprises. If you look at this article, there could be some surprises. I'm not saying I'm going to be right. We still have 13 days. In American politics, believe it or not, 13 days. Unless it's a Reagan-Mondale blowout, 13 days is an eternity. So that's what if you see here, remains within the margin of error. That's usually 2 to 3 points. It's meaning typically polling inaccuracies could shift results in either direction. So if there's, like, for example, in a Senate race, Sherrod Brown, Senator Brown of Ohio, is a moderate Democrat. He's running against Marino. I think that's his last name, but it slips me now. But he's a Trump guy. He's running for Senate. Right now, that race is basically statistically tied. So that race is a toss-up. It can go either way. Now, in the Senate,
that's right, it can.
The Senate favors the GOP. Why? Montana is a really red state. Even though Tesler, the Democrat, he's a moderate, he's losing to the Republican candidate, Shilley, the Navy SEAL veteran. He's down by 7-8 points. Many people believe that's going to go to the GOP. West Virginia, Senator Manchin, longtime senator, former governor, is retiring. He He left the Democratic Party, became an independent. But the problem is, Justice, who was the governor of West Virginia, is running, he's the most popular politician in the state of West Virginia. He's a Republican. West Virginia's gone so deep red over the years. It's like Trump's going to win that by over 30 points.
I have a comment and a question. The comment is, okay, West Virginia was typically Democrat, but Southern Democrat, as in Dixiecrat. And yeah, not the South, but Robert Byrd-style Democrat it was. And it was consistently Democrat despite being extremely conservative. But now, I'm also wondering, what do you think shifted Trump, the voters' favor towards Trump in the last couple of weeks?
Well, this has been more than a couple of weeks, as in West Virginia.
The last couple, yeah. Yeah, the coal. Okay.
Yeah, the Democrats are very anti-coal. That started it. And again, remember West Virginia, some Democrats are blue dog Democrats. What I mean by that is they're conservative in some of their social beliefs, but they're liberal in some of their, like they believe in Social Security, Medicare, and actually a lot of Republicans believe that now too. The parties have changed quite a bit. I mean, that'll be a video for another day if people want it. Now, the House forecast. This is 530. There are 500. I think there's 525 seats in the House of Representatives, either 535 or 525. 435, I believe, are up for grabs in the election. The House forecast 16 seats is toss-up, 8 slightly favoring the Republicans and 8 slightly favoring the Democrats.
Wow, that's
so. Right there. Now, another 12 seats are rated as lean, 7 in favor of the GOP, 5 in favor of the Democrats. So, now, why am I telling you folks this out there? Because I want to show you how divided the country is right now. Now, this isn't just this is the Hill. This is their electoral map. They didn't fill it all out yet. This is them, okay? Basically, they're not Real Clear Politics made their prediction. I just gave you mine. They're basically saying these are... Now, look at North Carolina. Dan, can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Basically, what they're saying, what the betting markets are saying right now is Donald Trump has a 65% chance of winning North Carolina. So if they held 100 elections in North Carolina, they're saying Donald Trump would win 65.
Sounds about right.
Georgia, this is what the betting markets are saying. Donald Trump is at 63%. And the Hill.com is pretty nonpartisan here. This is not, but these are what the betting markets are saying. So the swing states, look at Pennsylvania, that's a toss-up. The Hill has that one still very close. They're saying Trump has a slight edge, 51%. Now, let's see. Arizona. They're saying Donald Trump has a 59% chance. Nevada. See, this is why I give the vice president, Nevada, even the betting markets still have her. If you notice on the Real Clear Politics, the polling lately has favored Trump, but do you notice the betting market, Dan, right there?
Yeah. I mean, okay, you want my analysis on Nevada itself right now? Because besides... Now, back in 2005, when I first moved back to America for a while, first time moving back to America, I was looking at other places to live, and I considered Nevada as one of them. And a buddy of mine just got out of the Air Force, and he said, hey, you don't want to live there. Trust me, man, it's a red state. And I said, okay. I mean, as I'm not really staunch either way, but he didn't like living there. He said it was a quote-unquote red state. Well, lo and behold, over the years, since 2005, almost 20 years, lots of Californians have been moving there. I mean, all over the state. And not just conservative ones, people with liberal views have been moving all over, so it's changed the demographics.
Well, again, it's these people have most people have reasons for the way they vote. And Nevada, if you notice, and again, I don't want to get too far off the rabbit trail here, but every state is a subculture in itself. It's like the Democrats in Nevada, you notice they won't touch gun rights over there. Nevada, despite voting blue lately, is a pro-gun state.
That's right. It is.
Their senators are Democrats right now. They won't dare, because they know even with moderate Democrats, they'll lose, that they'll kill themselves. But my point is, that's just an example. Every state has their reasons, but right now, the markets are still favoring the vice president. There you go, 53 to 47. Now let's look at Wisconsin. Now on my map, I gave her Wisconsin, but the betting markets lately are shifting towards Donald Trump slightly, not by much, still pretty much a toss-up, 52%. Michigan, as of now, according to the Hills and the betting markets, she still it's rated a toss-up. Usually, if you get out of that 55 percentile, they keep it as a toss-up, and if it goes like 57, 58, then they'll put lean. Then if it goes 60, they'll put likely Democrat or likely Republican. But there you go. Now, take a look at this right here. This is Nebraska, very right-leaning state, right?
Yeah. It's pretty conservative. It's one of the few places where even medicinal weed is not legal.
My point is, but they have what you call, and this is called here, Nebraska's 2nd District, okay? Nebraska allocates their electoral college votes, meaning usually in most states, winner takes all, but in certain districts like Maine and Nebraska, like for example, even though Nebraska's red, in this particular area, I think this is the capital of Nebraska.
Lincoln? Yeah.
Lincoln, Nebraska. The one electoral vote's going to go to Harris, but the rest of the state's going to Trump. There's Nebraska 3. So these 3 districts, they allocate their electoral college votes. And if you look at Maine, you have Maine 2. Maine is I call Maine a center-left state. That's another state. It's very rugged. They're big on gun rights. But It's like Nevada in a sense. But if you look at Maine 2, they also allocate their electoral college votes. That one area is going to the GOP. Chances are, and this one here, I think that's the capital of Maine, I believe. Maine 1 is going Democrat. So there are a couple of states that do what they call allocation of their electoral college. Because most states here, as you see, like 95% of them are winner takes all. The GOP, they thought they could turn Virginia, but it looks like Vice President Harris will take that. So there you go, and there is your. Now here we go once again. For the first time, the Hill gives Trump. Now if you look, you go all the way back. August, Harris became Biden dropped out July 21st. They started. We're going back to August 20th. The favorite here was Vice President Harris. You go all the way down to September. She even was gaining in September. You look at it.
Yeah, for a while she was.
Yep. But now, as we get to the October, you see the former president right there. And this is their prediction, okay? I had 296. The RCP at Real Clear Politics had 312. They have Trump, as of today, 272 to 266. A very close election. And that actually could happen. That actually could happen. And there you go, the breakdown of the toss-up, what states are likely. So, folks, we just want to give you an education on why we think the way we think this election. And we don't just sit there and even if you disagree with us, we don't just sit there and fling things off our head. We try to research it for you. And they even do simulations. So here you go. And they actually do simulations. And this is how the Hill comes up with their percentages and what they think. So, Dan, any questions on that?
Not off the top of my head, no.
So, again, my prediction is, I believe, as of today, unless something changes, I think Trump will win with 296 electoral college votes. I'm going to give my difference from the Real Clear Politics map. I'm going to give her Nevada, and I'm going to give her Wisconsin. And heck, she could still take Michigan, for all I know. I'm just going off of what I read, what they're trending, and And I was reading from NBC News that they say her internal polls have her losing in Michigan. That's why I gave Michigan to Donald Trump.
All right, I think Wisconsin seems a little more. That could go either way. Yeah, but I'd say Virginia definitely to Vice President Harris.
Yeah, she's gonna win that at least 7 to 10 points. I personally believe. Colorado, the last person to take Colorado was Bush. Now Colorado's really has gone very left. New Mexico, it's center left. She'll probably win that between 8 to 10 points. Texas, look, the 86% chance. Florida, 81. Florida is interesting because it used to be a swing state. Up until 2020, Florida was a swing state. The past 6 years, Florida's gotten much redder. Much redder. And that's due to Dade County. A lot of Cuban Americans in Florida are very conservative. They support the president, former president, and actually not just Donald Trump. But a lot of Cubans tend to be more conservative. They were big supporters of George W. Bush, John McCain. Yeah. So that's how. So Miami-Dade has gotten more red, and the state legislature.
Also, don't a lot of conservative Californians move to Florida?
True. Now look at this one. Speaking of California, look at this one right here.
Yeah. So that's so obvious. Yes.
Well, there. Look at that. They don't even have a graph. But what's interesting about California? I don't want to bore the viewers. Right now, there's the polling for California, which, believe it or not, for a Republican, that's actually pretty good because Biden won by a lot more in 2020, I believe. The Republicans have actually slightly gained, and it is still down by 24 points, obviously, but hey, you got to start somewhere, I guess, for them. So there you go. And ironically, actually, wait a second. Let me correct. Yeah. Oh yeah, Joe Biden did get 63%. All right, so Donald Trump will make almost a 2% gain if that last poll sticks. And say what you want, but that's actually positive for Republicans. Maryland and California, percentage-wise, are probably the most liberal states in the union voting national elections. So there.
It's a hard part because the funny part about California, and I know this having grown up there, the bigger cities have typically been Democrat since I've been, since my childhood and all, but the more rural parts are surprisingly Republican. In fact, if you go to places like Shasta County and up in the Sierras and all, you'll be surprised just how conservative it is. And same with southeastern California. In fact, San Diego, it's been demographically mixed. Orange County used to be predominantly Republican due to the Vietnamese community because Vietnamese Americans are for the most part Republican, or at least were. And other demographics, but that's changing. It's flip-flopping. So anyway.
And so there's the Hill. And up until the past 4 days, that graphic there favored Vice President Harris. So this is the Hill. They're pretty nonpartisan. If you listen to it on YouTube, they let both sides speak. So I wanted to give you something more today than just Real Clear Politics. And in a future video, if you guys are interested, I'll give you some more sources. So today we focused other day on Real Clear Politics. Today I showed you the Hill. I'm showing you some of the sourcing that our channel is using to give you the information. So you can accept it, you can reject it, you can disagree. But all we ask, folks, is when you comment, be respectful. And we're glad you are watching. And if you're interested in more political videos as the election approaches, please let us know. We'll be glad to do that for you. Dan, anything else?
No, other than my closeout statements. Anything else from you, Joe?
That's it. But thanks for watching, folks. Thanks for your support. Please like,
subscribe, bang the notification bell. It helps with the algorithm. Share with your friends, your family, and follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter. In the meantime, what do they got to grab, Joe? Grab their
independent minds and blaze. Peace out, folks, wherever you're at in the world. Thank you.